Today, I'll share 3 little tips that made me a much better football player. Yeah, you might have heard that intro before, and that's because this is actually part 2 of a video that I made 2 years ago where I talk about things like looking around me, preparing well, and also having the willingness to run as those little things, those little habits that can improve you a lot as a football player. And in today's video, I'll give you 3 more habits that are pretty easy and which can improve you a lot if you're just willing to learn. So let's go. The first thing you want to do is make things uncomfortable for the opponent. Sorry, Jeff. But the thing is that as soon as the match starts, you have to basically make them think, this is gonna be a long match, this. Because you want to make sure that they hear you, that they feel you, that they constantly know that you are there, right? Now, how can you do this? Obviously, you shouldn't come in and like just 2-foot them the second they get the ball, because then you won't be there, because you won't be on the pitch. But instead, you need to start pressing them. When they get the ball, you come up and you press them, and you press them hard. You basically want to make them think that, I don't want the ball right now because Jay is right there and he's gonna be right in my face, and there's gonna be a consequence if they hold on to the ball for too long. So if you go in and tackle them, obviously make sure it's a clean tackle, but it's okay to make a hard tackle. Make them feel you, that you're there. Make it uncomfortable for them to get the ball and stress them. Now, one thing you can also do is, even if your team has the ball, you can make it uncomfortable for the defender as well, because you can make a lot of noise and just make them aware that you are there and you are a threat. Basically, be a nuisance. Make yourself available. I played against this player the other day who was constantly screaming and shouting for the ball and making, really hard, deep runs. And he just kept telling me, I'm gonna get the ball, I'm gonna get there first. And I was thinking, oh no, you're not. So we had all these stupid, hardcore sprints against each other, me trying to close him down. And that was uncomfortable. So by constantly making noise, making yourself available, you force the opponent to think about marking you and just taking you out of the game. And that's all in there. So be a threat, be in their face, make it uncomfortable them. And already there, you take a small win. And another thing I would urge you to learn is to start communicating and speaking to your teammates. And I know I've talked about it 1,000 times before, but that's because it's really important and it's a very, very good habit to have. Because you have to do it. See, the thing is that if I'm pressing Jeff here, he has the ball, I'm gonna be focusing on Jeff looking forward, which also means that I have absolutely zero clue what is going on behind me. Are there players making runs? Is there someone dangerous out there that is open? Well, I don't know. The thing is, the guys behind me will know. And they can tell me if I should close down the right or close down the left or push up on Jeff even harder or even drop back if we're vulnerable. See, they can tell, but I can't because I don't have eyes in the back of my head, as cool as that would be. And that's the thing, I always say to the young guys in the team that whatever you can see is not always what the players in front of you can see, right? So if you have a player who's getting a pass or just has the ball and he or she is getting pressured from the back and they can't see, you have to tell them man on, or whatever you say in your country. We say back, work. Man on, whatever, just let them know that they are being pressured or getting light pressure, Tell them. Basically, whatever you can see, let your teammates know. If you think it, say it. It's that easy. You can't talk too much. And if you can learn that and get your teammates to also learn it, you will improve as a team and as a unit. And it's just a small little habit. Open your mouth. Open, speak, okay? And finally, there is keeping things simple, but at least at the very beginning of the match. See, if you're like me, I'm a little bit of a confidence player. So if I go in, I start a match, and I try a lot of fancy stuff in the beginning of the match, and I fail a lot, it's gonna get in my head. And that's gonna hurt my performance in the rest of the match. So what I've learned over the years from a lot of failure is basically to keep it simple. When I get the ball, make the easy pass. You know, I don't have to look for those 40-yard winning passes unless there's a very big obvious opening. Of course, I tried, but I try to avoid making, you know, risky passes or risky dribbles in the beginning of the match just to get a few successes. Chip on my shoulder, feel good, build up the confidence, and then I can start trying things when I feel good. Because then I can afford to fail because I know it's good, you know. That was a crap pass, but you know what I mean. Keep it simple. But of course, these are just 3 little habits that have helped me. And it might be that you're already doing all of it, in which case you're probably a pretty good footballer, but it could also be that you have learned other things, have other little habits that improve you as a footballer. So let me know what those are in the comment section right down below. Maybe it'll help me, maybe it'll help someone else. So put them in the comment section right down below. Of course, if you need new football boots or new football gear, you can buy everything from the link to Unisport right over there. But of course also, if you haven't done so already, make sure you've subscribed to the channel with the notifications on. And if you want to learn even more cool football stuff, tutorials, everything, it's right down there in the playlist. And with those words, I'll be signing off. Cheerio.